Hello, everyone. I'm Damon. This is my mom, Cynthia.
Hello.
We're here to help you guys beat foreclosure. We've had fun with our first 8 videos, and now we're getting on to the fun part for us. We're going to start doing weekly updates for you.
Right. One of the things that we have gotten in feedback from you is the fact that it wasn't, our phone number wasn't right on the screen, accessible, easy for you to find. So there it is now. Thank you very much. That's a great suggestion. And so we also want to thank you very much for this kind of feedback and for some direction that you've given us in questions. So we're going to go back through today, review a little bit, and then also try very hard to answer what's just absolutely new this week and current. So I think, Damon, you want to show them the easiest way to get to all of our videos. We've now completed 8.
Yeah, absolutely. So with those fun graphics, as I've mentioned before, that is my cell phone number. So no offense, I turn my phone off at night when I'm sleeping. So I'm not going to be responding to messages when I'm asleep.
Right,
so
right.
That is my cell. I think the graphics are kind of fun. So is that good for that?
That is.
Leave it up for.
Well, I'll just leave it up there.
Leave it up for a little
bit
bit
for everybody, so they can jot it down.
All right.
And
so then we got to share the screen then, if we want to
Yes.
take a look at our fun page. And yes, we want to thank everyone because we're having really great success. This is our Beat Foreclosure page. To access it, I mean, you probably just typed in a search of some sort. We're popping up on Google on the under videos. We're popping up high in the list. If you go to youtube.com / you can see right here at Beat Foreclosure gets you directly to our page. Here's where we want to say thank you guys and gals. 1,660 some odd subscribers already with our 8 videos, and you can see 6 of them there. We can just kind of scroll around.
Right. And in those videos, sometimes we ask you to refer back to another one, because what we tried to do was discuss each of the 8 aspects of foreclosure separately. And now we're going to start sort of combining and updating and not just focusing on one particular thing. A couple of the things that have been mentioned to us that we did not suggest, but that people are doing that are facing foreclosure, is that they're having other family members move in with them, try to split payments, and it's a tough living circumstance, but a lot of people apparently are doing that, and it is something that I had not suggested as a possibility to bring in more income. Hopefully, if it's a place you own, you can have as many people in there as you want to, but I guess that's something that you might consider. Another question that was asked is, well, what happens if we have 0 equity? Because we had talked about trying to get you your equity out of your home. Because really, if you have no equity, there's no reason why you can't just walk away. You're not losing anything if you take your furniture with you. But apparently, you do want to have someone fight for you, because you're going to have some funds to move. That's expensive. To put a down payment or first and last month on an apartment. Rents are going up. So we would still like to talk to you and see what your particular circumstances are, so that we might come up with some options.
I think the really good question, though, is what sort of mortgage they have in place already.
Well, that's
because
one.
that's,
Yeah,
we're going to
we want to focus on that today.
But that's the really big thing right now, whether you talk of creative deals or whatnot. When you're talking about someone with little to no equity, you're right. So what are they losing by just walking away? Working with someone like us or our company, or working with other creative solutions, they're going to try to put some money in your pocket if you decide, they may not have a choice if they're being foreclosed upon. Right?
Well, one of the things we did check too was what is happening with foreclosures. And just a recent Orange County
one of our economists here just put out a report that 2023 versus last year over year in Orange County or Southern California, It's up 132%.
And California is below the nationwide foreclosure rate, which is up 153%. So, that's more than doubled. And there are some other states. I asked Siri for some statistics, and she said the 3 states that have been hit the worst with actually homes that have gone to auction and foreclosed in this first quarter already. In Colorado, it is up 595%. Michigan foreclosure rate has gone up 497%. And third state is Minnesota, which is up 268%. And I think part of that is because the protections that that everybody was given with a moratorium on being behind in your payments, those are all now ending. And so you are now faced with coming up with that money, getting yourself so that you're not in arrears. And so that's where you have to have all these other options of creative things. I think, Damon, you and I were talking about, you had made a list. You might bring that one up.
Go ahead and let's share
of a lot of the things we've already
talked about. Do we want to talk about the rates first, or we want to talk about the different
things up, and then we'll talk about now, okay, what the rates are.
Which one?
This one, I think the foreclosure options. That one. Let's talk about that
a little bit of a recap, but let's go ahead and let's pull it up. So let me share that. And we had to blow that up so you could see. That was another complaint that we're getting. Is that
what we want you to see? The print is not big enough. I'm a baby boomer, and we are the largest generation that there's ever been. And one of the reasons that things are changing now is that baby boomers are retiring or trying to retire. And there is this situation now where home purchasing and selling is shifting because of that. As these people become old enough that they can no longer stay by themselves in their own home, maybe they are being forced to sell their home. But that's, you drag your feet to do that. The last thing you want to do is to be moved out of your home at that stage of your life. So I don't know, Damon, you want to go? We did discuss.
Yeah, so this is just like a recap of all of the different options usually that are for you when you're going through this process. We've touched on a bunch of them in the other videos that we've done, so we're going to do kind of a quick recap. The top 7 there are really the ways that we can help you guys and gals. The last one last one is bankruptcy. We can refer you to an attorney of some sort there if that's the final option. But yeah, so number 1, and again, I think we spent a whole video on that one, personal loans, right?
Any way that you can pay off what you're in arrears. Any way you can do that. From banks, friends, family, do it.
You made a joke about a really kind uncle.
Yeah, we'd like to meet him if you have one. Or you can list it yourself.
So those number 2 and number 7 we're going to touch on here a little bit more thoroughly toward the end, but that has to do with going the agent route and just listing it and or fixing it up, renovating it before you list it. And we'll get into that a little bit more as we go on here.
One of the problems if you list it yourself and it's not in just top ideal condition where everything is just perfect so somebody can just walk in, move in their clothes and their furniture, it's not going to sell. It's certainly here in California. So that's one of the problems that people are having with trying to do the sale by themselves. It just doesn't happen. And so then we suggested loan modification. That's a wonderful thing. I just got a text from somebody we had contacted in Riverside, and they were finally able to, after like 8 months of struggling and getting different new jobs
and having to prove that income and whatnot.
Yes, they finally got their loan modification,
which is awesome,
which is fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can do that and keep your house and not have to move, good for you. That's worth the struggle. Most people just kind of throw in the towel and give up because the banks are not going to make it easy for you. They'd love to absorb your equity, have you not be able to retain that money for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we'll talk a little bit later about possibly renting your place.
Well, that's something we haven't touched on at all. We can just go over it briefly. because that's not even really talking about the sub two. That's just if they wanted to try to rent it on their own. Just go out. It's almost the same thing as the for sale by owner. It's just you're looking for someone to come in. You're going to have to move out, take over your payments. But then, of course, there's the risk that
the issue of the back money that you owe.
Well, not only that, but then let's say you bring in a bad.
Then what do you do?
They decide that they're not going to.
You're renting somewhere else.
Rent payment, right? So you're out of the house, and they're supposed to make their rent payment every month, and something happens to them. So there's that issue. So yeah, I mean that's an option that we didn't really bring up before. That is a possibility. So we've got those top 4 reasons before we even get into what normally we do, which is the cash offer. And we spent a whole video going over the cash offer system, how we come up with those numbers, the formula that's used. Most investors use that same formula. We went over that in detail. We don't really have to spend too much time on that.
Right.
Number 6 on the list was, again, all the creative stuff. And that's actually really huge. It's funny in California, because everyone thinks that their property is worth so much here. A lot of people here don't want to listen to the whole creative stuff. In other parts of the country, it's a big deal. But the biggest commodity becomes their mortgage that's existing already, that has that lower interest rate. And in a lot of them, we were listening to a tape the other day, and a certain percentage has mortgages that are under 2.5%. Then you have a whole other group that goes all the way up to 4%. So there
but if
are
you have something in the 3% range, that mortgage is equity. It's almost as valuable or more valuable than your house itself. Because that was the other thing we can show them. Let's bring up the current rates right now. We just checked this morning. Are you able to?
Yeah, they can see. Yeah, well, so it shows today's rate as we speak on a 30-year fixed all the way to 6.61%.
So if you have a loan that's a 3% loan, you've got something that's worth trying to have creative financing to build around that. That's a very, very attractive thing to a buyer.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to
or an investor,
give the bank,
an investor or a buyer to come in when there's a difference of those interest rates with the monthly payments. It's a spread is created between the interest and the payments. So yeah, I mean, that's why when we talk about creative, there are always things that can be worked out. So depending on obviously everyone's situation is different. That, as you mentioned, is so valuable now. If you can give them something up front, if they had to walk away, and then that existing mortgage stays in place because of how valuable that low interest mortgage is now, that's why a lot of people definitely are interested in that. So this just shows the rates, the rates for all the different kinds of loans that are out there. It's just really expensive right now to borrow money. It doesn't seem to matter whether you're buying a house or buying a car or buying a jet ski, whatever. It's just everything to borrow money right now is.
Well, and the banks, we don't even have to go into that, but we really know that truthfully, a very big percentage of banks in America now are in big trouble. They're saying the big banks are fine. We'll see. I hope so. Let's hope and pray that that's true.
I'll take this down is that good enough?
Yes, I think so.
Stop sharing that, and then should I pull the other list?
Maybe go ahead and put our phone number up again, if you would.
You really like that phone number now.
Well, the reason is, we really do. We are asking that you call us so that we don't have to call you and bug you, because each case, there are so many possibilities, so many different options, that the only way that we could possibly discern what is the very, very best thing for you in your circumstances is for us to be able to talk to you about it and find out what your exact numbers are, where you're located. All of that becomes just very, very critical in terms of us being able to work with you and set up an individual program. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is something that
was actually number 7 on the list, right? I was just saying, what was number 7? That's what we're going into, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a huge option. That's a good segue for us.
Okay. Well, let me just, I think if you've watched any of our other videos, you realize that I've had a design business. I have done flips. I have done staging. And so I have huge experience with what makes something sell. That's why when you try to sell your house by yourself and nobody buys it, it's because they've gone into other homes that have been upgraded, that are with whatever the current look is, and your house is not going to show as well. So here's something that really I think is a wonderful idea. If you know you're getting to the point where maybe the bank is going to try to come and give you a foreclosure because you're like 90 days or more in arrears in your mortgage payment, then you can work with us, and we can work. Damon is a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway. They have a program there, which Berkshire Hathaway.
Let me go ahead and pull up the screen again so they can kind of take a look at this.
Okay.
So I'm going to just be going through. So, right. So as Mom is saying, this is my realtor site. This is my personal site. If you Google me, Damon Robbins, this is what will pull up. And it just shows my nice little headshot there with my head cut off, which is always fun. And then I update this thing every day. So all of my current posts are going to show up here.
And some of our videos
look
will
at this.
be
Our
coming up.
videos are right here, which is kind of fun. And every day I get something that I promote with Berkshire. But it's exactly what Mom is talking about. So here's all my contact. Oh, here's my cute little family, which we're not supposed to spend a lot of time showing our family on these videos.
And he had on his hat. He has on his hat today.
I sure do.
With our logo. With the last name.
I wear these hats all the time, and Mom says it's part of the reason why I'm losing my hair, which it probably is. Has a little bit to do with it. But okay, so I resized that. So anyway, so this is my webpage for Berkshire Hathaway, and within the last year, it was just everything was coming together at the right time. I decided to team up with my sister Stephanie, wonderful lady. Let me go ahead and pull up her page as well. This is my sister Steph. That's a nice headshot of her there, very pretty. She's funny though. She's kind of camera shy, and
she doesn't want to come and sit and talk with us.
Maybe one of these days we'll get to convince her to come on. Yeah. I don't know. As this page gets bigger and bigger, maybe we'll convince her someday to show up. But this gives her a little background bio. She's from Orange County, grew up in Orange. She was Patty Panther at Orange High School, which is pretty awesome. But anyway, she's a fantastic realtor. She's in the top 100 in Southern California for Berkshire. Does really well, has great sales volume there. So I've decided to team up with her. So yeah, so that becomes, as Mom was getting into, a definite option. If you go all these other routes, you try to sell it yourself for sale by owner, that doesn't work out. You're not willing to go for a cash offer, which I understand that too. Creative doesn't make sense for you. You want your money now, or you don't want to take terms or payments over time. We can do a listing for you. And as Mom alluded to, we have a program with Berkshire. And then let me pull that up as well. It's called Pinnacle, where we can come in and we can help you fix up your place. This is the Pinnacle service that I'm talking about.
Can you make us bigger?
Mom's becoming so big on YouTube now.
I know. I never turned it on in my life, and I love it now.
Yeah, she's becoming a big star, I'm telling you. So this is everything that Pinnacle offers. They'll come in. It literally costs you nothing until your place sells, until escrow closes. You don't have to come out of pocket for anything.
Right. It's a restore your house with designer, and probably if you come through us, then I'll be the one in charge of doing the design work and getting the house up to what I know will make it sell.
Let me just read this here. First impressions sell, and that's exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
From major renovation projects to simple cosmetic fixes and professional staging, you're also a professional stager.
Right.
Pinnacle is designed to elevate every aspect to make it market ready. Your personal project coordinator decide if it's needed to move, what is needed to move forward and assemble an elite team design professionals, but you're the design professional, with the goal of maximizing your home's value and minimizing its time on market. Here's the thing.
That's big.
All at no cost to you until your home closes escrow. It's that simple. And that's exactly what it is. So they front all of the costs, and it comes out of the proceeds when you close escrow. So you really cannot lose here.
Right.
And
it puts your house, you're going to get more money that would pay for whatever the restoration is. If you didn't restore it, you wouldn't get that extra. So it's what's going to get you the money that you want out of your home.
And each deal is going to be
condo.
different, but we can work out a plan with them to basically split the profits, right?
Correct.
Is I think how we would work that. And then there's also that show, those gals on HG do exactly that, right?
They're up in Washington.
Yeah,
And what they
they're
do,
sisters, aren't they? They're
there's
like
twin
twins or
sisters.
something?
They come out of pocket.
Mm.
They let you try to sell it as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever your asking price was, they come in and they restore it out of their own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Then when it sells, they end up splitting whatever it sells. They take their money back that they spent
Right,
to
and then
restore it.
whatever profit margin is left
Is
after they get their
over
costs back.
what you thought you were going to get on your home, then they split that with you. So it's just a win-win-win.
And they've come up with some crazy examples. I was watching an episode with you where they went in for like 800 and sold the place for 1.4 and split.
Right.
You know, they both the person
never
walked
know.
away with $250,000
I did
after they renovated it.
I did a condominium up in Anaheim Hills, and I told the lady's name was Florence, and I said to her, you know, if you,
Hopefully Florence won't mind us.
She won't
using her
mind.
name.
Hi,
Florence is
Florence.
pretty cool.
I told her, I said, it looks so wonderful. I did the design and decorating for. I said, if you ever want to sell this place, you better have your suitcases packed. And she kind of laughed at that. And so she listed it. She was in there for quite a while. Then she went ahead and decided she was moving, and she listed it at 5 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, and she had 2 full cash offers, highest price ever in that whole development, by noon the next day. So that's how important the correct look for the right neighborhood is. And for that to be able to have that done for you, for your house, where it doesn't come out of your pocket really at all and allows you to get your home sold, sometimes that's the reason when you're in pre-foreclosure, is that you can't afford to get the house up to the maximum that it could sell for. So this is a wonderful option, and we haven't talked about
Especially
this one before.
when they don't have to come out of pocket at all.
Exactly. So that's why, here's the phone number. It's up on the screen.
All right, just put it up again. We're having fun with
We're
this.
asking you to call
It's
us
an overkill. You know, you can see these graphics on my cell phone.
because we want you to at least have a conversation with us. There's nothing to lose. We can suggest to you, come over, have a Zoom call, come see your property, give you an honest, kind evaluation on what we think should be done, and then go from there. We've got people that we can recommend. I have contractors I've worked with for 20 years and I trust. And so, you know, it's really to your advantage to have a conversation with us to decide what in the world can you do. And the last thing we wanted to discuss is the fact that we are focusing on people that are in trouble with foreclosure, or they are in arrears with their mortgage, because that is, to me, just the most frightening thing that's going on in our country right now. Plus, with the banks being in trouble, they're going to be less willing to make loans. They're down 1/3 of the number of loans that they're giving out to people. So it's interrupting the normal flow of homes that are for sale. Everyone who has a 3% loan is going to sit there even longer than they want to. So the market is becoming very unusual. And that's why you really need to talk to somebody, depending on where you want to move, if you want to try to stay where you are, how you can do that, how much time do you have. if you've been served papers, is there a lien on your property? Are you behind in your taxes? There's just tons of things that we should have a conversation about that. So we do want you to call us. There is the phone number. That's
and I'm
the
going to
best
pull
one.
up we've got 2 minutes here until our cutoff. So I'll pull up the web page one more time because I just wanted to show them on our page now, because I used to have to talk about it. To hit the like button or to hit the subscribe button, you go over here, push that little button there that subscribes you to our channel. Here's the cool thing. You want to talk to us on a video chat like we are doing right now on Zoom. You click on this little button here that can set up your appointment with Mom and me. It gives you like an hour of our time, so at no cost to you. So definitely schedule a Zoom call with us. And yes, my pretty cell phone has been sitting there for the last 10 minutes. So anyway, those are all the ways to get a hold of us. Also, under the About section shows my email there if you want to shoot me an email. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text, give us a buzz. Any way you want to get in touch with us.
We've given you the phone numbers.
So let me stop the share on that one more time. Here we are, and we have that going. So yeah, we're
you have nothing to lose. You have absolutely nothing to lose by doing that, and everything in the world to gain. Number one, take some of the stress and the worry and the fear and the embarrassment and just the craziness away from what's going on now, and just know that the whole world has gone a little berserk. So this is a time to reach out, and we have asked you to, there's the number, we're asking you to call us. Please do so.
All right, so perfect timing. We've got about 10 seconds. God bless you guys. Give us a call. We would love to help you beat foreclosure. Thank you, and we'll see you on our next weekly update. Take care, everyone.
Love you. Bye-bye.